Hey y'all. I'm gonna make this super quick, even though it's like actually not something that should be quick, but it's my life right now. But I feel like it's the things that are happening kind of warrant check in or video, even if it's just for me to look back on later. So this week is like the busiest week of our lives. We are in the middle of Vacation Bible School. I can't stop moving, sorry y'all. Our Vacation Bible School, which is every night from 6 to 9. Obviously, because of my position at church, I'm in charge of that, but I work another full-time job that actually, I got new job responsibilities Friday, the few days before our just really rush week with Vacation Bible School. So it's been a little wild, obviously, and when things are wild and things are not normal and you're caring for somebody with Huntington's, that change in their schedule, at least in my experience with my mother-in-law and with my husband, is can be a lot. It can spark kind of outburst and things like that. It can actually end up being something that to me, I've noticed when those outbursts happen that are caused by just an interruption in schedule or something that really just really interrupts his mind. Sometimes it also, when he has one of those weeks where it's struggle, it almost is like a jump in symptoms, meaning that's happened and then we get better, but we never get back to the place where we were. So obviously there's fear in that, which I refuse to give into, but it is something that is been going on this week. But in praying, in preparation for this, I will first say everything this week that could go wrong, not everything, but lots of things. I'm a kids pastor because I love children. But when you're dealing with a event this big, which has 100 kids, you have 70 adult volunteers. And I'm at the place now in my ministry career where I have people in place that do a lot of the things with the kids for these events, and I'm actually leading these adults. And I don't like adults. I don't deal well with that. They're whiny. They always have something wrong. Somebody's complaining. And really, it's a lot. As much as I love each, I think I have like 70 something. I love them all individually. When you walk into a room, and I feel like, one, in the back of my mind, I'm worried about my husband, and is he overwhelmed? What is he doing? What's he going to say to somebody if he's stressed out or in a bad mood? Because it is a stressful situation. And I will be making my rounds, and I can't get 2 steps before somebody else is like, hey, I have to ask a question. Like, they're always just somebody needing something, and it's fine. It's great. It's a fabulous week, and I'm so excited that I get to do it, but it's just kind of overwhelming. So in preparation and prayer for that, it's really just been like, Lord, don't let this be a setback for him. Let this week be something that that he's able to just be a part of by being there, but also feel connected, because he doesn't have those conversations anymore and do all those things. So it's always really hard because I know he feels disconnected even though he's there. And that hurts my heart for him, and I'll get in my feels about that. But it's just where we are, you know. So Monday was night 1, and it was a little wild. Tuesday was better, because we just had a better flow of things. Nothing happened either night. Everything was great, except I came home from work after just preparing for Tuesday, and I kind of almost had my own self a breakdown a little bit, and I was like, listen, I got this and this going on. I feel like I haven't sat down today at work, and we're about to go to this thing, and I'm going to give it my all, but I need you to be okay. I need you not to be in a bad mood. I know you can't help it, but I need you to help it right now. And I'm literally told my husband, who has Huntington's, and my daughter the same thing. They were like, I was just giving everybody the spiel before we left, because I can't do it today, because you get like that, right? Especially when you have stuff going on. So I'm like, I can't do it, so just get with it, because we're just going through the motions, but we're making these things happen today. So we cannot have an episode tonight. So don't even, if your brain is trying to brain like that, it can't. So don't do it, And so that's kind of where I was. And so it was an okay night. Everything was fine. I really did not get any time to sit down with him. I do my rounds. I check in. Are you good? Do you need something to eat? Do you need something to drink? Are you okay in here? He sits in the sanctuary a lot and watches the kids who come in through a rotation there. My daughter and my son are also a part of that area, so they kind of keep an eye on him, but he sits there quiet. I don't know that he even hardly speaks to anybody. He's just kind of there. But like I told you, I want him to feel a part. So it's hard. So Tuesday night, we come home. My daughter went to a friend's house, and my son is going to bed. We're all going to bed, and cause we don't get home till like 10 o'clock at night, 9:30, 10 o'clock. And he just starts talking. And he said, he being my husband, said more words to me Tuesday after that service. And after I was so really overwhelmed, like, oh my gosh, I can't do it. I can't deal with it today. And I just could feel a build. Like, okay, if there's ever a day that he's going to have a bad day, it'll be today. And like, I'm not ready. And so we were praying about that, but really a lot of it was going through the motions. But he started talking, and he was asking me about this kid and that kid and this family situation and work stuff that he it's hard because you're hearing videos of me and you don't see him, and maybe I'll make a video or two and have him in it at some point, but I would need to explain to him what I was doing and why I was doing that and make sure he was okay and stuff. But they're one word answers. We went to dinner for our anniversary, and like, he does not say anything. Like, I ask him, do you feel okay? Yeah. You're tired? I'm always tired. Are you hungry? I'm always hungry. Do you want to do this? I don't care. What do you want to do? What do you want to eat? He can't narrow it down and make a decision. It's overwhelming. I have to say, do you want chicken or steak? And then he'll decide. And then I have to give him 2 more options until we narrow down what he wants. Like, we don't have in-depth conversations anymore. It's very much, this is the question. What is your response? Just to care for him. His personality is, it's almost like completely gone. You don't realize that until you have a night like we had Tuesday night. We're laying in the bed, and he's just talking, and he's talking, and not like obsessively, like over the top, like excessively over the top, but like a lot more than he has in probably 18 months. And it was like he had a blip of like lucidness, like where he was a little bit more of himself, or at least he was able to communicate that with me, and he was encouraging me that things were going to be okay, you know, with like this week, and reminded me why we do it, and like why we love it, and that he's okay there, and even if he's not talking, like, he's happy to be there, and sometimes that's hard to tell. But like, it was wild because like, I didn't even want to go to sleep because he was just talking, and I think we stayed up till 11 or 12. Like, he talked for a good 2 hours. And I said, are you tired? He said, yeah. And I said, he said, I'm sorry, I'm talking too much, I'm keeping you up. And I had to say, like, gee, you could talk to me, like, we don't even have to sleep tonight. Like, we don't have to, like, if you still like this in the morning, I'm probably calling out of work. Like, what do you mean, you know? And I said, do you feel okay? And he said, no, I feel the same. I said, well, do you realize that you are more talkative right now? And he said, a little bit. And I said, do you feel less foggy or something like that? And he said, maybe a little bit. And I said, well, what did we do different today? And of course, he couldn't determine that. And I didn't want to spend my whole time talking about that instead of just enjoying having my husband for those few minutes or that hour or whatever, you know, whatever it was going to look like. And it was absolutely amazing. It was just what I needed. God's perfect timing. But I guess that was Tuesday night. Today's Thursday. And I feel like it, as much as I needed that, and I don't take that back for anything, it makes you miss that person even more today than I probably would have been, you know, last week, because I have not had one of those blips of seeing my husband in a minute. You know, it's been, I would say, 18 months probably. And the thing is I don't know the day that he became that way, or when I realized it just slowly happened over time. But then I just know we're so far from, He's talkative, checking on me, just encouraging, involved, physically, emotionally, all the things. And he's just not now. And I know that he can't help that. And I will take him in the condition that he is today for as long as I can have him. One, because I know it's degenerative and, it is only going to progress. But so the personality that he has now, what he has left, it's going to go away too. And not in a negative Nancy way, or people, a lot of people who I love very much, they're praying for us and they're like, I'm accepting of that because I'm looking at it like a blessing. Not accepting of that because I think that God can't do something different. But we're good, and I'm blessed. And so, but that sometimes doesn't come across that way. So it's not as a negative Nancy kind of situation, or like a woe is me and it's only going to get worse. That's just the reality, and I want to treasure the moment that we have. But to have had that little blip of seeing my husband be my husband this week has made it interesting. I've kind of had to get my heart right, and I think it's good timing, it's bad timing, because I do have this is the busiest week of the year, like I said, that I almost feel like I'm grieving more, because I don't care what anybody says. I'm speaking for me, so it's a fact for me. I don't know about anybody else, but there is a grieving that I don't know when it started, but it's heavy on me some days more than other days. And again, not in a negative way. I don't have to keep saying that though, because that's the whole point. It's not. This is just me just telling truths, and nothing else. There's a grieving that is happening every day for the person that he was, but there's still so much love for the person that he is, even in this moment. And I treasure him, but I miss him even though he's in front of me, So it made me miss him so much more than I usually am able to just put that in the back of my mind and just keep going. So it's like weird. I don't know. I guess this video is kind of like one of those things where I had a fabulous experience on Tuesday, and it was a blessing, and I needed it so much. But then now also I'm dealing with the fact that there's the grief and the hurt and the reality that you have to face because you got that blip of lucidness and stuff. So I don't know if that makes sense to any other caregivers that are dealing with things like dementia or things, I don't know if that's just me. I feel like it can't possibly be. I feel like it has to be a thing for anybody who's dealing with something where they could have that person seem better for a few minutes, a few hours, a good day. You enjoy it and you treasure it so much. And I needed it, and it was perfect and wonderful. But then it just leaves a kind of a hole. Leaves a hole for sure. But maybe it was a good week because I don't have time to think about it. I need to get back in here and do all these crazy things for work, but it's on my mind. I'll text him. I've been texting him this week more after that than I normally do because I don't want to bother him and get him started and get his mind on something or something. But just, hey, how are you? And I can tell. You can tell by the way he's texting, or called, and he's just still he's back to his normal where he was. One word answer. And that's okay. But it's almost like I'm testing the waters a little bit to see is he like that again? Because I'm telling you, if I had noticed that, I would leave this joker right now. I would catch a migraine so fast. I would say my stomach hurt. I would do whatever I had to do to go home and just be with him, and bump all this just to have that little bit of time. But like I said, it's been like 18 months since the last time, so it may be another 18 months. We may not get another one at all. It may be like that tomorrow. I don't know. But I guess treasure every single moment and every single stage. Just like people say with their kids, they're walking, they're talking, they're independent, they're not independent, when they're still like, it's the same thing when you're dealing with somebody and you're caring for them as your husband, as you're watching the things happen. As sad as it is to people, and they're like, oh, I mean, I've had to consult because they're crying for me, and I'm like, no, I'm good. It's one of those things where treasure every single stage and every single second, and make every single memory count. So I got an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours of awesome this week. I just wanted to tell y'all that I did, and it was fabulous. It was beautiful, and I am praying that we have more of those. But I'm also just very, very thankful for the one I got. So that's it.